All of you who have been initiated to Shambhavi Mahamudra, I assume you have been following Mandala or a guided app to count time for you for your practice, but that's for 40 days. So what would you do after 40 days once you're initiated and completed the whole cycle? Then the next part is to do this practice with just yourself and not with any app, because that's a distraction. That's like for a beginner to sit through the experience and understand the nuances, understand the difficulties, and then afterwards, once you're done with the mandala cycle, now your system is habituated with this practice. Now, what would you do after that cycle? So here is what I would show you in this video, that this is how I have been practicing. I completed my mandala, but after a few days, I thought this is a distraction, because just listening to an app, it's like you're dependent on it. So I felt stuck. So I started this during the cycle of my mandala, and I got rid of the app and the guided meditation sort of timer that it was provided with. So what I did is what I'm going to show you in this video. So I count breaths. And how do I do that? So there are few practices that requires timer, such as the butterfly, that requires you to do for 2 minutes. Then rock my baby, that is 2 minutes each for each leg. And the next practice is Shukha Kriya, which is for 6 to 7 minutes. And then Om chanting is 21 minutes, so that you have to count anyways. Okay, then it comes Bandhyas, which is again, there is no counting required, because it's just one cycle, one inhale and one exhale. And fluttering of breath, it's for 2 minutes, but I've never been able to do it for 2 minutes. I try to do it for maximum 1 minute. And the last is for like 5 minutes meditation, that you can count again with your breath. So again, we'll go first. I know in between practice one should not talk, but this practice I'm dedicating it for you all, so that it makes it raw. And that is what you're doing on a daily basis, that is what I'm doing on a daily basis, but I'll just speak for today's video. So now I'll be doing butterfly. So here I would do breath counting. So for butterfly, while you're doing this practice, your breath will be a little faster, because it involves physical exercise. So I've counted that for 6 breaths, it's 1 minute. But of course, you have to be as slower as possible without holding your breath, because you cannot hold breath while you're doing exercise. So I've counted 6 breaths equal to 1 minute. So I will do 12 breaths, and I'll count 12 breaths, because it is easier to count breaths. And don't focus too much on the physical practice. It takes time, but eventually you'll get to it. You'll get a hang of it, and keep your focus on the lower back and the breath, and let the exercise flow as it is. So let's do.
At this point in the practice, I'm not thinking about minutes at all. I simply count my breaths. For me, 6 slow breaths, 1 inhale and 1 exhale, roughly equal to 1 minute. So as I continue the butterfly movement, my attention stays with the breath, not the clock. Counting this way keeps the mind engaged just enough without disturbing the flow of the kriya.
Okay, so I could not complete 2 minutes. I counted 9 breaths, so it should be close to around 1.5 minutes, and it's okay, because I will try push it for 2 minutes, push it for the maximum time, but I will only do it till my body resists, and it's hard for me to continue. So let's do rock my baby again, the same procedure, 6 breaths equal to 1 minute. So we'll count the breaths together and see through the timing, and the timing might be inaccurate. It will be close to 1 minute with equal to 6 breaths. So it will not be accurate, right, to the seconds. Again, I did this for 9 breaths, so which should be close to 1 minute 30 seconds. So the next is cat stretch, which is you don't need to count anything. It's just 3 cycle, and so potentially I'll skip this for this video's purpose, and we'll go to Shukha Kriya from here on. So before Shukha Kriya, I do inner engineering crash course for 1 minute, and this is very important to me because this sets the foundation for the remainder of the day as I remind myself that I am responsible for everything. Though my actions are limited, but I can respond to anything limitlessly, which is in my consciousness or without my consciousness, which is I don't know, but I can still respond to that, like I'm doing right now, that I can respond to anything which is not in my consciousness. And then I remind myself that every moment is inevitable. So if anything happens within the moment, the only uh, way forward is to accept it fully. Otherwise, I'll be stuck in my karmas. The next is I play roles. I should not be identified with any of the roles, but I should play those roles to the best of my abilities. And the next is I'm the mother nature of the earth. And then I'll go into the Shukha Kriya. So for Shukha Kriya, the breaths will be, of course, a lot slower than the breaths during butterfly and rock my baby, because we were moving body parts. So of course the breaths would be a little faster that time. So here what I counted is 3 to 4 breaths is equal to 1 minute, because it is very slow, right? I take time to inhale and exhale. So I will show you the first count, and then you can accordingly count forward. And so okay, let's continue. Let me just do my crash course. I know this is inconvenient to me, to this system, because I'm speaking and I should not be speaking even a word while practice. But this session is dedicated to you all. So let's do that. And while I'll be doing Shukha Kriya, I will give you the count for first few breaths, and then you can count it forward. I'll keep it raw for this video.
At this moment, I remind myself I am responsible for everything I experience. Nothing is happening to me. Everything is happening because of my involvement. Every moment is inevitable once it arrives. Resistance only creates friction. I play many roles in life, but I am not the roles. The rules are mine, and I can rewrite them consciously.
So before I start Shukha Kriya, I have to take one deep inhale, and then I'll start exhaling from the next left nostril, and I'll keep hold of the right nostril with my thumb, and I'll just interchange between thumb and the little finger, and that's how I would do, and I would count it in my mind. And within whatever these are, within these practice, there will be a lot of other thoughts playing around in your mind, but I have to be focusing on the breaths and the exercise. I'll even let the exercise, whatever I'm doing with my hands, or whatever the other things that I'm doing with my body parts, I will let it play automatically, and I'll just focus on my breath. I think that would do the job, because right now, after doing Shambhavi Mahamudra for 2 years, it has become my muscle memory. Like, I know these practice by heart. So now I have to focus on my breaths and the timing. So
And that's how I count till 22 to 24, and that completes 6 to 7 minutes for this practice.
Okay, so for this exercise, of course, I was only doing exercise with the breath, so I could not count the breaths because it should be like 4 breaths within a second, so it's pretty hard to count that fast. What I count, while I'm doing that, because I don't need to count the breaths, so I just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how the second clocks would run in, I would accordingly count to 60, and because I could not go beyond 60 because it's hard to go for 2 minutes with this fluttering of breaths, because initially I was only doing for 15-30 seconds of 20 seconds. I pushed it for 30, and then after 2 years I'm at 1 minute, so I'm fine with it. I try to push it for 2 minutes, but right now it's 1 minute. And the next practice for bandhas, there is no counting required. So I think there is no more counting required for any of the later exercises. It's just bandhas and 5 minutes meditation, and you can do the meditation with anything anyhow, right? You can count like the seconds 1, 2, 3, and accordingly do it for whatever number of seconds and count it accordingly minutes. Or you can count breaths, and if your breaths are slow, then 3 to 4 breaths should be 1 minute. Or if your breaths are fast, of course, while doing just meditation without moving any body parts, it has to be slower. So I would suggest six breaths, 6 to 7 breaths would do 2 minutes meditation, and you can do it as long as you want. So I will end this video here. Thank you.
Now, let me be very clear about what I am not doing here. I am not teaching Shambhavi Mahamudra. I am not explaining the kriya. I am not sharing initiation knowledge. I have deliberately skipped steps. I have intentionally avoided details. I have consciously not spoken about the fundamental mechanics of inner engineering. What I'm just doing is sharing my perspectives, and I'll continue to do so. Thank you.